Hello everyone, Blaze the Hedgehog here, and I'm going to be telling you guys a very interesting story, a very spooky story, that I'm actually connected to through my father and my brothers. Now, I can't really give you too much information because sadly, my dad actually died of cancer, and I just when he was alive, I could never really get him to talk about this experience because it's just something he didn't like to talk about. And I mean, really, as for anybody, it wouldn't be something you want to talk about because I mean, you would think that you'd be skeptical and maybe think that people think you're crazy or anything like that, and you just don't want to relive that experience. So I'm going to try to tell you what I can. So don't think I'm just talking out of my butt and I'm making crap up. But the reason I'll be telling you this story because I actually found, if you've ever heard of this movie called "Victim of the Haunt" on YouTube. And believe it or not, and this is probably where a lot of people will say I'm lying, even though my brother has the papers to prove this. That movie is actually based off the experiences of my dad, his wife, and my two brothers. My dad's name was Charles Johnson, and my brother's name is Joseph Johnson and Jonathan Johnson. And his wife was Sharon Johnson. Now, this movie is about, long story short, I'm not going to give barely any details about the movie because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who wants to go watch it later. I'll have the link to it in the description. It's Victim of the Haunt, came out in 1996. It's about a family who moves to a new house and it's built on top of a graveyard. Now, I'm not saying just because, this house in this movie was built on top of a graveyard, that means it's about my daddy. That's not what I'm saying at all. This actually did happen when my father and his wife and my two brothers moved into this house. They didn't know it at the time because, I mean, who really thinks about this stuff? Is actually built on top of a graveyard, and they didn't know it at the time. But no, they actually had to sign papers and stuff, and that way they could actually make the movie about it. Because I mean, you can't just be like, "Oh, this happened to this person's life. We can make this movie." You have to have permission to do stuff like that. So, yes, we have the papers to prove that this did happen. So I'm not just talking about my butt. Now that that's all out of the way, and I won't get trolled upon, hopefully, and being called a liar. On to the actual story. The house is actually located in Tuckerman, Arkansas, which is my hometown, and it is literally just right across the street from an actual graveyard in Tuckerman. However, when you go to move into a house, I mean, even if it was like that, you probably wouldn't think much of it. I mean, you wouldn't be thinking, "Oh, this house is probably built on top of a graveyard. We shouldn't move into it." You really don't think about stuff like that when you go and move into a house or anything. Anyways, they got moved in and everything, and my dad was actually a truck driver, so he was gone from home, just a lot. I mean, he wasn't at home very much at all. Well, his wife, while she was home, she, would experience, paranormal things happening. And really the only thing I could get my dad to tell me or talk about is that sometimes they would put something up somewhere or, set something down and it would either just move by itself or later on when they'd be looking for it, like it had just miraculously just disappeared on its own, they would find it in some just unusual part of the house that it would, why would I ever set my glass of tea on top of my couch or something? I mean, that's, I'm bad with examples, but That's basically what I'm getting at. It would just appear in random parts of the house, and nobody had moved it, and my brothers were infants at the time, so they couldn't just reach up on a tall shelf and just take something and set it, wherever. And they wasn't going crazy and just moving stuff around and forgetting about it. But no, that's really all I could get him to talk about. And it just kept going on, and my dad wasn't ever home at the time, and he just didn't really believe in that kind of stuff. Like, it had never happened to him before, so he just didn't believe, what he was being told. Well, one day, it was decided that they were going to build a fence around the house. So whilst my dad was digging fence posts, to start building the fence, and they were going to put the fence posts down in the holes. You have to dig the holes to put the fence posts down into. They actually dug up tombstones. And as for anyone, that would probably be, a real shocker. If you just, went digging in your yard and just dug up, gravestones just right up against your house and stuff, just right under the ground. And, that's when basically, he started believing her, and I've got pictures to show you and everything, but those gravestones are so old, and some of them you can't even, it's like there was nothing even written on them, and some of them did have some. I mean, there was numerous of them that was dug up. And after all this time, all these years of this happening, my brother still has the papers of all of this stuff that went on. He's got the newspaper articles, pictures of the gravestones, which I've shown you, and yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. But no, after that happened, they basically, were going to sue the builder of the house, because the builder of the house never told them that they had built that house on top of a graveyard. And, rightfully so. They should be punished for, doing something like that. But here's where the, twist comes in. This was the first court case, or state court case, that was actually a paranormal court case. What I'm trying to say is, it was the first paranormal case to ever reach state level in Arkansas. So, this went to state court. It was very serious. So, I mean, it was a real big deal. The first paranormal case to ever hit state, and, they basically sued the guy. But the twist is, the court case was actually used to cover up what happened in this house. Like, all the events and stuff like that were kept hush-hush, to the public, because I don't really know why they would do that. I don't know why they would want to cover it up. I mean, the only real, I can assume the only reason why is maybe because they didn't want to scare people away from the town, because I'll be completely honest, this town is not anything to brag about. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but it's partially why I moved away from that town. It's a dying town. One day it's gonna be a ghost town. It's not well ran. The water is really crappy. Literally, it's like somebody took a dump in it sometimes, because it just comes out brown. But enough of the nasty stuff. I'm pretty sure you get the picture. But now, my brother is a paranormal investigator. Just one of my brothers, not both of them. His name is Joseph Johnson. He's actually a paranormal investigator, and he's the founder of Off the Grid Paranormal, and they do free paranormal investigations. They've got like all the electronics and stuff, and he's real knowledgeable about it. And this experience in his life is the reason why he has become a paranormal investigator. But anyways, I will leave links in the description, link to the movie, and I will leave a link to my brother's Off the Grid Paranormal page. He actually has a team that he works with when he goes and does investigations. But I hope you all enjoyed the video of me sucking at War Thunder, and I hope you all enjoyed the story. And I hope you all enjoy the movie if you decide to go watch it. I will warn you though, it's an old movie, so it's not, like top-notch stuff. And don't think everything that happens in the movie actually happened, because, obviously when people make movies, they kind of overhype things. But yeah, I was just thought it'd be interesting to explain the whole story behind that movie and behind my dad living in that haunted house. And I've actually seen the house myself. I've never went in it or anything. I'm kind of too scared to. But regardless, I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever I upload, in the next video, I should say. I hope you're all doing well, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.